G'day everybody. I want to talk about dogs and even all animals when it comes to their reactions and why they do them. And people think they're bad, but it's natural. They're natural reactions. And once you know that, it's best to do certain things. Like they tell you when a bear comes after you, or there's a snake around, to stand still and do this and do that. It's like that with all animals. Right? And when it comes to most animals, mostly the collective of them, so we'll say 80% to 90, right, if they're doing the right thing. And when it comes to the animals, they usually are like that when it comes to their collective. Only 10% and very little are different and act different, right? As they might have been through something different in their life and stuff like that. Right? But when it comes to animals, they're just like us, right? When they don't know people and stuff like that. And what they do is they protective when they're protective animals and they don't go out much, and over time they get used to it. But if you go out and then don't go out and go out, you might find your animal is the same a lot, protective, right? When it goes out, so when I go, I'll be protective, right? As it hasn't got that constant mingle, right? And had that for a while. So you might get dogs that like to bark and act protective. And when animals do that, they see threats and they act first of how they believe they need to be to make sure that threat doesn't become a threat. Right? And so a lot of animals will give you stares, growls, looks, all sorts of things to keep you back, to go, don't come near me, right? I'll get worse. Right? And so you've got to know animals and get education of it, because if you don't know certain things, you can make it worse by doing certain actions. And I've told people when dogs go and run up to them is watch out that don't kick back. She'll be okay. She's okay. Usually, if an owner yells out, it's okay. It's okay. 90% to 80% of the time, they're right. Right? They should know their dog. Depends on the owner and all that kind of circumstances, right? And so usually they'll be right. So you should go with that. You can make yourself alert at all times. I'm not saying to anybody to be just calm, relax when dogs and come. No, be alert. Be alert. Doesn't hurt. Oh, yeah, what's this? Right? And just wait, patience. And all the people that I know that's ran into Stella at certain times, because she goes in there and she likes to park every now and then. I call it pick and chooses. This is what I tell to people. It depends on the certain time of the day as well. When it gets dark, she gets more protective, I've noticed, in the dark. And on darker people, she gets spooked. So she pulls a more protective look and way when those things happen. And humans will do the same thing. All animals do the same thing when it comes to what can they do to make sure people stay back. And some people go too far. Right? Like, some people automatically go, just don't go near me, just go near me, just go, and be like that. But in the animal kingdom and in the barbaric kingdom, in the caveman kingdom, right, that hunting and gathering kingdom, that's all fine. But in the intelligent kingdom, it's not. It's called bullying when you're acting out of proportion on things that don't need to be, right? And you'll make things worse, run around and not look that good to yourself, right? And so when it comes to humans and animals, we are so similar. Hey Stella, because when I was a kid, dogs used to be around more often than what today. Right? People used to go out more often, have more pets. Sometimes you see dogs running around for days. Right? It can still happen today in certain areas. I notice it doesn't happen here as much as Penonga. They've gotten onto that, where you see bigger dogs at least running around. You see occasionally smaller ones still, as I've talked about, but the bigger ones. But back in the day, we used to have big dogs running around all the time. And I learnt that then. I used to jump fences at first, seeing them when I first started seeing them. And then I got a big dog myself, and then I learnt about them a little bit. And then I'm like, well, if you're not a threat, you're usually alright. Dogs don't get you. And then after that, dogs come running up to me and bark at me. They wouldn't get me. And then there was a time I thought, oh, I've got it all worked out, right? About dogs. And then I was a smart ass, right, to a dog next door. And it bit me and ripped me over the fence. But I deserved that as I was stirring the dog. And so that taught me an old lesson about, so when you stir the dog, they're definitely going to get you. That same dog, when I just ignored it, it was crazy and it didn't really come at me, right? It didn't do anything. But when I went and stirred it up and went, and tried to be a bigger threat to a dog that I knew that was a bad dog, it didn't get looked after a lot, and they had instincts, and it liked to attack if you threatened it. It was very protective to itself and its place, and it was in its own area, and it was on a chain, but it had an area to run. And so I ended up stirring it up, got ripped over, and learnt a lesson. And then I got to a part, should I be afraid of dogs? And I could have got afraid of dogs, so I had to heal about dogs. Well, first time I was cocky, and then now I got ripped over. Now I feel like fucking, look what the dogs can do so easy. I've been through the experience of it. Right? It could have been a worse experience, as my brother had a worse experience with the same dog, right? And then I learned after that, no, it's all right. It's just a one-off thing. If you be good, you'll be right. And then it helps you teach you more about, when the animal kingdom can teach you more about God and how God works and how the balance works out there and why they attack. Right? Animals attack because they need to eat. There's no other way around it. And so they keep to the balance and they eat what they need to eat. They don't overeat. Right? They try not to. And they try to keep to the balance, like how a loving God would be like. Not to overwaste or get greedy or envy. They don't do all that. They just have their fun and live and explore and do. And we can do the same in the same peaceful way and balance, but without the extra envy and greed. Animals don't really have that. They do have it. They do have greed and envy, but just not like us. They have it in a different way. So you sit and watch animals and see that, and see if you can notice that and go, well, can I be like that then? I'll see what they're like and work from that upwards, because that's the start. But anyway, have a good one, and let me know in comments what you think about all that. That will help you into the future. Hopefully you don't go to try this for the first time like having a bad McDonald's burger at McDonald's and get a bad experience and believe that this is wrong, because sometimes that happens too when it comes to certain advice. Someone goes to use it and you just happen to have that 10 or 20% of the dog that tears your face off, and you go, well, fuck that, I'm always going to stay. And if that happens, you can have that opinion, and sorry for you if that happens for you. But anyway, bye.